Namaste everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hrishikesh. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and today I'm going to share with you knowledge on a very important topic, which is 12th house and marriage. And not many people know about this. Mostly you would have heard or you've come across 7th house and marriage. Okay. And it's very saddening to see, when people who have marriage problems or have trouble getting married, when they visit an astrologer, the point of view is always, they analyze from the 7th house, which is so wrong. Because the 12th house is the house that gets you married. And if you're not getting married, you have to check the 12th house for the affliction or the blockage. 12th house is extremely essential when it comes to marriage and also for other things. But today we're going to talk about 12th house and marriage only. All right. And very few people have knowledge about this. And I'll try my best to give you as much as I know on 12th house related to marriage in this video. So please, do watch the entire video and do give me your feedback after you're done watching. All right. So first, let us take the name of Guru and Hrishikesh, and then we'll begin the beautiful topic on Neshta Graha and 12th house. Om Gurave Namah. Hrishikeshaya Namah. All right. Neshta Graha. Now, Maharishi Parashar says any planet sitting in the 12th house will act like a priest. Okay, and he will lead you to marriage. It will take you to the altar of the marriage. Simply meaning that any planet in the 12th house will forcefully get you married. Whether you intend to get married or not, it will get you married. Now, whether it's going to be a good marriage or not, that's a different thing. But the planet sitting in the 12th house will for sure get you married. It's binding on you. All right. It's like basically you've made a promise in the past life to get married. So it's going to happen. 110%. Now, further, Maharishi Parashar says that planets, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rahu are the best planets when they're placed in the 12th house. These planets, if you have in a 12th house, you will surely get married. But these planets also come with their own set of problems, which we will discuss further in the video. All right. But if you have Sun, Moon, Rahu, or Venus in the 12th house, 110% you're going to get married. Now, planets in the 12th house can also block marriage or create trouble, obstacles in your married life. Okay. Because now, when you're talking about planets, it depends on how the planets the planets are placed there, how the planet is functioning there. What is the status of the planet? Is it exalted? Is it debilitated? Is it in its Swarashi, own sign, meaning at Tattva level? Is it afflicted? Is it in a friendly sign or is it in an enemy sign? All these things, will influence your marriage, your partner. 12th house is also the house of giving. Donation, giving away, losses. All right. The 12th house becomes the house of loss only when you stop giving. So for marriage, if you develop the attitude of giving, your marriage will flourish. So the person is always focused in the marriage focused on giving, towards a partner, only thinking about giving, and not taking or not receiving. That marriage will flourish for sure. But if you have the attitude of the 7th house as marriage, like 7th house is house of business, profit, loss, give and take, that marriage will, see its fair share of trouble and can also crumble. All right. So remember, 12th house is a house of giving. The more you give, the better your life will be, the better your married life will be. Okay. Also, the 12th house is of liberation, moksha, salvation. All right. In a deeper sense, when you have a partner who walks with you throughout life, okay, both of you, together achieve the 4 goals of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, eventually go towards, liberation. That's how in Vedic times, life of a married couple was seen as. Today's time, it's different. In today's time, 12th house, if you look at in a very practical way, 12th house is a house of bed as well. 12th house shows your bed, meaning it shows your bed pleasures. So planet sitting in the 12th house, or if you have no planet sitting over there, the placement of the 12th lord, the planets conjoining the 12th lord, all right, or the Rashi Drashti aspect, the sign aspect on the 12th house of the 12th lord, the conjunctions of the 12th lord, will show how many partners have you shared your bed with, how many partners you have had physical relationships with. Now, before we go further, let me define this marriage considered. What is considered as marriage? If you're dating a person, all right, you're not married, you're dating a person, and you're emotionally and physically connected with that person for at least 365 days, at least a year. And during that period, you're not, having the same relationship with any other person. Then that will be considered as a marriage in the Kali Yuga. So let's say you have a girlfriend and you've been with her for over a year and you've been physically and emotionally connected with only her and not anyone else. Then you're married. Okay. If it breaks, it means your first marriage has been broken. So when you go to an astrologer, if you've had a number of relationships going over a year, when you go to astrologer, do tell the astrologer that you've had these relationships for this period of time. So the astrologer knows now which house he has to see for, for marriage of relationships. Okay, because it won't be the first house that comes for marriage, the seventh house, or the Upapada Lagna, which is a very different detailed topic, which I'll make another video on. So when you go to an astrologer for marriage troubles, or if you're finding it, difficult to get married, always share your personal history of dating. Be completely clear, or else remedies either will be worked out, incorrectly, or the astrologer will not be able to help you. So always be very truthful and very clear when you go to an astrologer. Take it as a visit to a doctor. Give out all the symptoms and all the history. Do not lie. All right. Only then an astrologer will be able to help you accurately. Okay. Types of marriages and planets in the 12th house. So here I'll talk about two things. First, there are 8 types of marriages. Okay. And how planet, when placed in the 12th house, will influence your marriage or the partner. So let me first, run down very quickly with the 8 types of marriages, so you're aware of what kind of marriage. Generally, only a couple of marriages take place in the Kali Yuga, but I'll give you the entire, description of all the 8 types of marriages that happen. Viva, Ashta Viva. So the first Viva, if Jupiter, if we start from Jupiter, it's known as Brahma Viva. Okay, basically, it's a marriage that happens between two people of the same caste, of the same religion, of the same faith. Okay, all right, and it's known as Brahma Viva. Okay, when it comes to Mars, Devya Viva, and basically here the bride is unable to get married. Okay, her age goes about 28 years of age or something like that, which happens generally a lot now, and the parents of the bride, under pressure because their daughter is not getting married, they are so much under pressure that they get their child, their daughter, married to anyhow, because the feeling is that the age has been delayed. So the specifications, or let's say the filters that parents have for their child, will really come down, and they will anyhow get the child married as soon as possible without thinking a lot. Okay, because of that's known as Devya Viva, the inability of a person to get married. In earlier times, a yagna was done for that person to get married. Okay, and here I'm talking about the type of marriages related to the planet. I'm not talking about what happens when a planet sits in the 12th house. I'll come to that after this. So Mars, in very simple terms, you're unable to get married, and you crossed a certain age. It's been delayed a lot, and now because of the societal pressure, the pressure of the family, the parents of the pressure, they'll get you married anyhow, and at times possibly to any who. All right. Moon is Arsha Viva, and basically it is to happen, that the parents of the bride used to get married to bride to groom from a lower caste or a lesser level of status than them compared to them. But because the groom was well educated, that was the only factor. Or a Brahmin, basically in older times a Brahmin, intellectual, educated, and he had a very, low level of sustenance, but could sustain the marriage in a very normal level. They should get married their daughter to such a person, and that is known as Moon Arsha Viva. All right. Also, sometimes for some exchange, they used to exchange cattles or cows when the marriages used to happen. You can read about this in detail, and you can Google 8 types of marriages, and you'll get more details on it. Surya, son, Prajapati, Vivah. Basically, the father gives away the bride, Kanyadan, which used to happen in our times as well, certain years ago. When the girl comes of the right age, the father decides a groom for the girl, and he gives away his daughter as Kanyadan. Okay, Prajapati Vivah. Mercury. This happens a lot in Kali Yuga. All right, happens a lot. Asura Viva, only for money, of status. The attraction of the marriages, money, status, wealth. Okay, so Asura Viva is related to Mercury. The intent to get married is about wealth, about money, status, basically. Venus, Gandharva Viva, it also happens. Love marriages, marriages that happen due to attraction between two people. You can call it love, or you can call it attraction, physical attraction, basically known as Gandharva Viva. Rakshasa Viva happens in some parts of the world for sure. It is a marriage that happens by force, by abuse, or by rape as well. So marriages happening due to such events is known as Rakshasa Viva. Okay. And also here, one more thing. By force, when I say, it can also be an exception, the boy and the girl are in love with each other. The girl's family is not supportive, opposes the groom. So the groom abducts the bride. Okay. And against the will of the family, of the girl's family, they get married. So that can also be known as Rakshasa Viva. A very good example would be the wedding of Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Rukmini Devi. Okay, or I think Arjun and Subhadra as well. That is also known as Rakshasa Viva. Not always, some negative event or traumatic event has to take place for Rakshasa Viva. It can happen like this as well. Rahu Pisacha Viva, okay, it is completely against the wishes of the girl or her family. All right. It can happen due to a crime again, like I mentioned in the Rakshasa Viva, or by cheating the person into marriage, or like drugging the person, putting the person under the influence of alcohol and or substance abuse, and the person is not in state of awareness, and the marriage happens like force, against her will, against the will of the girl, against the will of the family. If the marriage happens, it is known as Pisacha Viva. Okay, that is related to Rahu. Basically, it can be seen as a crime as well. Ketu, it's not related to Ashtaviva. So let us start with Ketu in the 12th house. And we'll go to the other planets like that. So let's start with Ketu. When it comes to Ketu in the 12th house, it's not a good planet to have in the 12th house. I can say, I don't want to say negatively, but it's not the best planet to have in the 12th house. Ketu in the 12th house is not good. First of all, Ketu is like a big shunya. So wherever Ketu is, there's a big zero. So if Ketu is in 12th house, the marriage is gone, dusted, finish. It will block your marriage. It will block you from getting married. Okay. Or it can also, and if you get married, it will show physical or sexual incompatibility with the partner. Because it's also the 12th house, like I said, is a house of bed pleasures. So the sukha, the bliss, the happiness of bed goes away. So Ketu in the 12th house is not good. Okay. And I'll tell you one more thing about Ketu in the 12th house. The marriage will only survive due to children. So if you get married, if you have Ketu in the 12th house and you get married, and if you decide not to have children, your marriage will not survive. So the best way to protect your marriage and to make your marriage, keep on going ahead successfully is to have kids. If you have Ketu in the 12th house. All right. So the best remedy for Ketu in the 12th house is have kids and look after the family for a successful, good marriage. Otherwise, it will break the marriage for sure. Now, when we come to Rahu, and like I mentioned, Sage Parashara says that Sun, Moon, Venus, Rahu are the best planets when it comes to, their placement in the 12th house for marriage. Rahu will surely get you married. But the problem with Rahu over there is, and there's also a bright side to it, that Rahu will always give you, multiple relationships. It will give you a relationship and then it will cause a break to that relationship. And then it'll keep on giving you such relationships again and again and again and again, the same cycle. Till one day, you get tired of it and you're like, I'm done. I have now no excitement or longing or no attraction for relationships anymore. And when you start feeling like that Rahu in the 12th house will take you to the highest level of spirituality. So that's the bright side of Rahu in the 12th house. It can give you highest level of spirituality and knowledge of moksha and liberation as well. So, but Rahu will give you multiple partners, okay? And the relationships that you will have will break the barriers of society. Okay? So unnatural relationships, you could have relationship with somebody that is married, for example, or that's related to you, which is unnatural, which is not normal from the society's point of view, because Rahu breaks barriers. All right. So it will give you multiple relationships, multiple sexual partners. And the day that you get tired from it, and your soul, your mind wants to seek something else, it will take you to highest level of spirituality. And this reminds me of Osho. Osho had this way: Sambhog se samadhi. So this is somehow connected to Rahu in 12th house. Okay, Saturn. Saturn will give coldness in the marriage if you're married. But at the same time, Saturn in 12th house will delay marriage a lot. And will also give you a lot of suffering and coldness from the partner in the marriage. Okay. Also, it's sitting in the house of pet pleasures, so there could be distance or there could be coldness between the partners when it comes to physical compatibility. Saturn mostly will delay, and if you get married, there will be a lot of sufferings again, or not a good planet to have in 12th house for marriage. Okay. Venus, very good planet to have in the 12th house, but it depends on how Venus is placed. Exalted will give you different results. Debilitated will give you different results. Same sign will give you different results. This will apply to all the planets in the 12th house. But Venus is a good planet to have. But the problem with Venus is now that the marriage will only last on beauty. So if the partners, doesn't groom themselves properly and do not maintain themselves, do not maintain their beauty, the person can lose interest in the partner. Okay. And then they will be attracted to somebody else who's more beautiful. So the problem with Venus is the marriage is only good till the time the beauty is there. Okay. And depending on the status of Venus, the expectations can be really high, can be different. So Venus in the 12th house will give you a marriage for sure, or it comes with its own set of conditions. Mercury. Now, the problem with Mercury in the 12th house is that, first of all, it would deny marriage. It'd be like, it will give you thoughts. I'm so young, still young. Even if you've crossed 30, to tell you, I'm still very young. There's a lot more to life. Why do I need to get married? I still have to work. I still have to earn money. Okay, I have to, learn more things. All right. It can make, also, if it gives you marriage, it can make, the partner could be like a child, little immature, or very immature, like a child. And you might get trouble with that attitude partner. So generally, I've seen Mercury denies the marriage. Mostly. It's not a good planet to have in the 12th house. Mercury and Ketu, not good planets to have in the 12th house. Okay. Sun, Surya in the 12th house. Surya will definitely give you marriage for sure. But once the marriage is done, once you have kids, the Sun in the 12th house will make you seek the knowledge of Vedanga, of Vedic astrology, okay, of spirituality, or the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. It will push you towards that, or it will push you towards politics. And it will make you forget the dharma of marriage. Meaning, once you're married, once you have kids, you'll be like, okay, I've done it. I have kids now. You'll tell the spouse, okay, do what you want. Okay, take care of the kids and everything. I'm going to seek higher knowledge, or I'm going to be more focused towards politics now. All my energy is going to go towards this theme now, either politics or seeking more knowledge, like higher knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Vedanga, and so on. So if you're married, all right, and if Sun is in your 12th house, okay, my advice is to not give more time to spirituality or reading spiritual books, okay, or to politics or to discussion about politics. Limit it. Try to avoid it if you can, if you want your marriage to work. Okay. Moon in the 12th house. Wow. Now, the thing with Moon is it will give you marriage for sure. But Moon is very fickle. So you'll be like, I like her as well. I like that girl as well. I like this woman as well. I like everyone. Everybody's beautiful. I'm attracted to everyone. Very fickle. Okay. And the problem with Moon in the 12th house is that once you get married and you have children and everything, you'll try to maintain the marriage for the sake of the society. Okay. So from the outside, people will think you have a beautiful marriage. But from the inside, in the reality of marriage would be that you do not have a great marriage. There is nothing like marriage between you. And then you'll tell your spouse, now let's work for the society. Let's do something for the society, Let's focus on social welfare. And we'll lose complete interest in, fulfilling the dharma of the marriage. Moon can also give multiple relationships because Moon is very fickle in the 12th house and you'll get attracted to almost everyone. Okay. Now that depends on the status of Moon, Is the Moon debilitated? Then not good. Is it conjoined with any malefic planet? Not good. If it's exalted, then the result of Moon would be very different. Exalted planets in the 12th house are not good because exalted planets will test your marriage a lot. Like Agni Pariksha. You have to go through fire in marriage. Let's come to Mangal, Mars. Mars in the 12th house Not a great planet to have there. Not a good planet to have. First of all, Mars will for sure block marriage. It won't allow you to get married. It will force you to become celibate. Okay. And in case you get married, then Mars will cause violence in marriage, abuse in marriage, frequent, arguments, very fiery, hot arguments, where you can see violence, you can see abuse, all right, in the marriage. So Mars can do that when it sits in the 12th house. And it can, after marriage also, it can force you, after a couple of years of the marriage, it can force you to live like siblings. Not like a couple, like siblings. Completely, nullify the physical connection. It will make, it will force celibacy in the marriage. And also create a lot of arguments and fights and violence and abuse you will witness in marriage. If you have Mars in 12th house. Okay. Jupiter. Now there's there are two sides with Jupiter. Jupiter in the 12th house is considered very good because Jupiter is related to the Akasha Tattva, the element of Akasha. It's binding. It's like a glue. It's a good planet to have for sure in the 12th house for marriage, not for other things. Okay. Because then it's a dusthana for Jupiter, the 12th house. But 12th house Jupiter can help you get married, can help you maintain your marriage till the time you don't have greed for anything, greed for wealth or knowledge from the spouse. Then it will help you get married, probably in the same caste or the religion that you belong to. But another side to Jupiter is, Maharishi Parashara says that Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rahu are good planets to have in the 12th house. He does not mention Jupiter, the most benefic planet. Now you have to think why. Okay, Jupiter is like God. Jupiter is Guru. Jupiter is higher spirituality. So it may happen that if you have Jupiter in the 12th house, you can get married to God. Simply meaning, such combination can be seen in the charts of a nun or a monk. Okay. So there are two sides to Jupiter. So Sun, Moon, Rahu, Venus, if you have in the 12th house, you'll get married for sure. But it will come with its own set of troubles as well. All right. So hope I've been able to give you a lot of information on the types of marriages, and I've also discussed which planet, when it comes into 12th house, what will be the effect like for the marriage. Okay. Let's move on to some charts. I think I've placed a few example charts for all of you to understand more clearly. This is the chart of our Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and Libra ascendant. And if you see in the 12th house, we've got Mercury, Ketu, and Sun. So like I said, Ketu will deny marriage for sure. Mercury as well will deny marriage again. Okay, it's an exalted Mercury. So it will test the person in marriage a lot. But it's with Ketu. Ketu will deny for sure. But Surya is over here. Sun is placed in the 12th house. So Sun will give marriage for sure. But if the person gets married and goes towards spirituality or knowledge of Vedang or politics, that person will forget to fulfill the dharma of marriage, will completely forget his responsibilities towards the spouse and marriage. And this happened with him. After he got married, his focus was towards politics more, and the dharma of the marriage was ignored. So see, this is how planets work. A lot of times we judge people. We put them in certain, put labels on people, oh, he did this or she did that. Planets have a very strong bearing on our decisions in life. You cannot escape the influence of planets in your life. No one can. And this is how it works. The 12th house is a house of Neshtakra, marriage, spouse. And we see here Mercury Ketu are denying, but Sun is placed there. And now the condition with Sun was, like I said before in the earlier slide, that we focus on politics or higher knowledge, knowledge related to Ved Vedanga, Jyotisha, Jyotish Vedanga, then the marriage will cease to exist. Let's see if you have more charts over there. Okay. One more Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. And we have got the Navamsha and the Rashi as well. This is the Rashi chart. The 12th house is no planets, but if you see the sign here, it's Libra, and the Lord is Venus, Shukra, which has gone to his second house. Now, the problem is Venus is conjoined with Ketu and Sun. Okay. Ketu destroys Venus completely, and as well as Sun. Sun and Ketu, when conjoined with Venus, it's not a good combination. So you are seeing Venus over here, but it is not actually working to give marriage. Okay. And now you would ask me that, Sun will give marriage or not again. Now the problem is for Libra sign, there's a concept known as Badaka as well. And that is Leo, that is Surya, and it is sitting in the second house. So here, I'm not saying when marriage is denied, the person will go into celibacy. It will give relationships. But it is in the axis of Rahu Ketu. So it can be a hidden relationship, which will not culminate into a marriage. Okay. So that is one problem. And Surya, sitting with Ketu, it's under Grahana, it's under an eclipse. So sitting with Venus, where, in the sign of Libra, lorded by Venus, Sun is debilitated. The Sun is also not in a great position over here. Okay. And like we said with Sun, if the person moves towards politics or the knowledge of, Vedanga or higher knowledge, the person will, forget the concept of marriage in their life. Okay, let's see what more do we have. Okay, this is the chart of legendary astrologer Shri K. N. Rao Saab. And we have, I hope you can see the 12th house planets. We have Surya, Sun, Mercury, and Ketu in the 12th house. In all these charts, did you see some similarities? Sun associated with 12th house, Ketu also associated with 12th house. Okay. And if you don't know, Shri K. N. Rao Saab never got married. And he did not move towards politics. He went towards Jyotish, Ved Vedanta, higher knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Okay. Ketu is there, Sun is there, Mercury and Ketu will deny. Mercury is again exalted over here. Okay. So it will be very troublesome for marriage again if he gets married, which he did not. And the Neshta Grahas did their work. So he did not get married, but he went on the path of, acquiring knowledge of astrology, knowledge of spirituality. So the Sun worked there in that favor. And also, if you're more interested, you can check out the chart of Mahatma Gandhi as well. He has, till I remember, Surya, Sun, sitting alone in the 12th house. Okay. Now, one more thing with Sun. Sun is in Marana Karakasthana in the 12th house. It's not a good placement for Sun. Okay. So if you read the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, there were troubles in his marriage. Okay. A lot of troubles in his marriage. And he also went towards politics in a way, and also spirituality in a way. And he forgot his dharma towards his spouse or the marriage. All right. So you can, check the chart out of Mahatma Gandhi, and you can read about his life to understand how planets, influence your life, influence your decisions. All right. So now all of you would be wondering, I have this planet in my 12th house. What will happen? What will be the effect? And I'm not getting married, or I have troubles in my marriage. What are the remedies? Now, in Vedic astrology, there is no, one fit for all remedy available for any problem. But if you go to Baba, they'll have some totkas or some, experimental remedies which do not work, which, the intent is always to, take advantage of a problem. There is no remedy that will fit for everyone. There is no general remedy. So if you're having trouble getting married, or if you cannot get married due to reasons known to you, you have many relationships, you have options as well, but still you can't get married. Okay. So we have to see a lot of things. We have to see the 12th house from moon as well, because moon is mana. What is going in your mana? What beliefs do you have about the marriage life? What mood, the moon is influencing. So a lot of things have to be checked out to arrive at the accurate, first of all, accurately find the source of trouble, the source of problem, and then accurately give remedy for it. So when you're facing trouble in marriage or trouble getting married, always visit a proper Vedic astrologer, not an astrologer, a Vedic astrologer, and always be very truthful and give the astrologer a clear record of your history with relationships to arrive at a proper remedy and solution for your life. Okay, one more thing, there's a concept known as Aruda. So the Aruda of the 12th house is known as Upapada Lagna. Okay, they are the keys. Upapada Lagna and giving is the key when it comes to solving 12th house marriage troubles. Okay, and the key for everyone would be different. So you need to consult to know what works for you best. Never ever start remedial measures, with material derived from the internet. Lal Kitab remedies or Tona Totka remedies. Do this on this day. Donate this on this day. Chant this mantra, and never ever take mantras from the internet. It will destroy. Okay, it will completely destroy your 5th house. 5th house, it's not just house of children, but also the house of mantras and pujas. So never do mantras from, when you take mantras from the internet, you do not know when you to start a mantra, whether it has to be given by a guru or not. Mantras have devtas and rishis, which, nyasas have to be done for. And you just start a mantra like that, it will destroy your life. So never do that. Never ever take remedies for any problem, for marriage or for any problem in life from the internet and start doing it. Okay. 12th house, as I said, is the most vital house for a lot of things. Today we are talking about marriage only from the 12th house point of view. Do not activate it in the wrong way. So do not, take remedies from the net, from YouTube, and start doing it, because 12th house is also the house of bondage, of jail, of hospital. So it can take you to some wrong places as well. And another thing that I'll tell you before I end the video, whenever Saturn, will transit the 12th house, and if you're married, that transit will most definitely try to break your marriage, break your house. So be very careful when Saturn is transiting the 12th house from your ascendant, or the 12th house from moon. But if you're not married, and if Saturn is coming to your 12th house, do not start remedies. That transit of Saturn, if you're not married, will get you married, will get you a spouse. Okay, but that spouse will come under Sadesati period. So there will be a lot of karmic, there will be a big karmic account with that spouse, and you'll see a lot of, karmic issues come out in the marriage later on. And mostly, at times, marriages that happen in Sadesati, they end after the Sadesati finishes, or a lot of frictions, a lot of trouble pop up as well. So be very careful about the period when you want to get married as well. Consult, find a good Vedic astrologer and consult before you take major steps in your life. Okay. So this was it. And I hope it has been a very learning experience for all of you, and you've found some new information related to marriage now, something more than the 7th house concept. I've shared with you the 12th house concept to marriage. There's a lot more, there's a lot more. 12th house, I can talk about for days and days. There's so much, information related to 12th house. Even with marriage, I can talk for days, endlessly. But it is not possible to summarize all that knowledge and give it to you over here. At times I fumble because, there are so many thoughts coming to me and I have to filter them because, for you, all of you out there, I have to simplify the matter. If I start talking in the astrological, terms and everything, I'll be like a doctor. You won't understand anything. What is he talking? What are all these words? So I fumble at times because I have to, process the information, filter it out to you, and then put it in layman words and, then give it out here. So that happens a lot. And I hope that I've been able to give you, golden information out here. And for those of you who are, seeing trouble in marriage or having trouble to get married, can figure out from their chart what is really causing trouble. Okay. And if you want to consult with me, I'll leave out the information in the description box below, where you can get in touch with me and then have a reading of your chart related to marriage or any trouble that you're facing in life. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back soon with some interesting topic like this. Hari Om Tat Sat.